Hi, what's up, everybody? Good morning. What's happening? I am attempting to stream live from Panama City Beach. Wish me luck on that. Um, Trying to get my chat open here, so bear with me. We're going to attempt to see some chat, hopefully. But if not, we can talk without chat. So anyway, you're looking at satellite, by the way. This is our system. Let me close some windows out here. I got a bunch of windows open already. That's what we're looking at. We got a yellow banana in the middle Gulf of Mexico. We'll put back over there satellite. So sound is rough. Sound is rough. Yeah, my webcam audio. Let's try that. How's that, Shelly? Good morning. We are watching the start of hurricane season tomorrow, June 1st. Seems like yesterday we were tracking 2022 season. No one comment that I'm getting is that who we just did this, right? So we're back. Let me see if I can try my webcam audio. There we go. Let's try that one. That might be a little better. So we're getting set up for tomorrow. I'm going to do a special remote live. This ought to be fun. We're going to be at the Gulf Coast Jam this whole weekend. That's why I'm in Panama City Beach. So I am using my weather powers to try to keep this little low pressure system away. And it looks like it's heading to our house. Shelly says it's better. Now, if I could just open my darn chat, that would be great. Let me see if I can, give me 1 second here, and we will attempt to open chat. And if not, oh well. All right, here's another look at what's cooking out there in the Gulf. I love this satellite imagery here because it shows lightning, and we can start to see that the sunlight is upon us. So if you're wondering why you see this weird little light coming across, that is sunlight, and we're able to see more clearer visible imagery from our little system here. All right, so let's go one last chance here to try and open up my chat, and we will get right on into it. So in a nutshell, we have a lot of wind shear in the Gulf of Mexico right now, and development chances are low, so 20% right now. Got low-level spinach, yes. It has storms with it, counterclockwise flow. Got a couple days kind of lingering out there in the Gulf. It's going to cross over the Florida Peninsula. The general consensus, though, is that there's too much wind shear right now on this side of the state. Now, when it gets onto the other side of the state, might have a little window to try to become Arlene. You know, these waters are getting a little warmer. The Gulf Stream's getting a little warmer. And things tend to like that Gulf Stream, as we've been seeing all season. So this is kind of the third little system that we've been tracking here. Let's see here. I might be able to pop it open here. Oh, so by the way, listen, I'm staying at this cool little place here in Panama City. It's called Bubbles Beach Bungalow. Pretty awesome, cool little name. It's got this really nice beachy vibe. Lazy J Beach Properties was so kind to ooh, look at that. Oh, stop it. Boys are here, by the way. So anyway, check them out. It's over here in Panama City Beach. They're really nice to hook me and the family up here with a little house while we do the golf jam. So the golf jam starts tomorrow. Oh, there's my pop-up chat. Okay, we got one chat down, one to go. Because I hate not being able to see everybody. So let's put on. Okay, looking pretty good. I see the possibility. I see YouTube chat. So check them out. We were at Margaritaville last night. Let me tell you what, the water up here, I know the locals know what I'm talking about. I live in Clearwater Beach. The waters are very nice in Clearwater Beach, but the waters up here are amazing. Like Bahama quality water. Like, I can't believe the level of blueness that this water has up here. Especially, I don't know if it's the sunglasses I got or what, but total, like, amazing blue waters. Sarah found a sand dollar yesterday, so she was kind of excited about that. It was pretty cool. All right, so I think I got sort of a chat window open here. We'll just roll with it. I think I have to have this thing set up a little better tomorrow. But hey, we got 500 people watching. Totally not my normal setup, everybody. Apologize. Oh, all right. So we got the chats kind of popping up. All right, so we're going to talk about this little tropical thing. This is a daily brew, by the way. We're normally live every day, Monday through Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I do these little short recorded videos. I did one yesterday. I upload those, so you can always check those out. Call them 5 o'clock somewhere videos. All right. I think that's going to do it for me for trying to get this chat to work. All right. Harold, okay, I see some people talking. Okay, we'll roll with it. Morning, James Hogue. Good morning. All right, now it's working. Jason wants to know, what's the weather doing? All right, let me turn off my video, then we'll roll. We're about 8 minutes behind here and all these shenanigans. Just got to figure out how to turn off the video here because I can hear myself. Okay, there we go. All right. We're almost back to normal. My mobile studio is now complete. Cool. All right, let's just pretend I hit the start button. So we're live in Panama. The trickiest thing is actually 8:30 in the morning here. I kept having to look at my watch thinking, what time? So my watch still says 9, and the phones are saying 8. And I'm like, what time is it? When is 9:19 in the Central Time Zone, right? So this is the first ever Daily Brew filmed in Central Time Zone. First for everything. I did not see the SpaceX, Beverly. God, and I don't know what happened. We were at Margaritaville and totally forgot about it. We were wasted away again. I was. Mike Soul, good morning. What's up, Michael Wheaton? Good morning from Chattahoochee. Way down yonder in the Chattahoochee. Hey, as Nana says that Jim Cantori was talking about the system. Yep, there's a system in the Gulf. That's what we're looking at. Joanna says the water here is beautiful. It is beautiful, man. The sand is crazy. It was hard on Sarah walking. You sink about a foot down into the white sands when you go out to the beach. So, but anyway, we'll be at the Gulf Coast Jam the rest of the week, and we'll be doing a live tomorrow, 9:19 Eastern. Big thanks to the crew here they've been letting me go behind the scenes. Yesterday I was in the heart of the concert where they're doing all the setup behind the scenes. They let us, let me take the girls. The girls got to see behind the scenes. What a massive undertaking here. 30,000 people are going to be here this weekend for this Gulf Coast Jam. So they have me doing weather 24/7 to make sure everything's good. And so far the trend has been right on par. So let's talk about this little guy. All right, so tomorrow's official start of hurricane season is 20%. This little yellow setup. We've had this jet stream here. You can kind of see it. Let's pull it up. Old school graphic here. So kind of, I know it's kind of hard to see probably, but kind of leaning toward this El Nino year. We get a lot of wind shear from the Pacific. The Pacific jet stream sets up, and we get a lot of wind shear across the lower part of the U.S. It's kind of what we saw last week with our little coastal low about the Carolinas. Almost the exact same thing as far as high pressure to the north, strong winds to the south, and these old frontal boundaries just kind of linger and they have nowhere to go. So we basically have leftovers from last week hanging out in the Gulf. Yesterday it really blossomed, blew up. A lot of convection yesterday. I'm leaving this one up here because we're starting to see the first signs of daylight, and we're starting to see some banding of our weak low pressure area. You can see it on the Knoll School site here. This is the lower level winds. You can see the 850 millibar winds spinning away down here, and that's where the heart of it is. It's right there smack dab in the middle of the Gulf. So you get all that wind shear above, and that's why the core of the system looks like it's actually closer to the Florida Peninsula than it actually is, because we're getting a lot of upper level winds that are blowing this thing. Upper level winds are decreasing a little bit. This is another map I use a lot of. It kind of shows you that the upper level winds are decreasing just a little bit, but they're still strong above. And these are your winds in Peach, if you can pull it up here, but your upper level winds are pretty much blowing all that convection towards the Florida Peninsula. So definitely rain's coming, storms are coming. Let's take a look at some of the latest models and maps here on the rain, first off. So if you're living here in the upper Gulf Coast, throughout the tonight, this is the core system tonight. You can kind of see these are 6-hour rain intervals, and it's going to have rotation. So we're going to have a lot of Gulf juice tonight, Wednesday night, rotating up towards the upper Gulf Coast. Didn't look like a lot of severe storm potential with this. Most of the core is going to be the lightning and those bands that are being pushed off towards the Florida Peninsula. So this is tonight. And as it starts to spin later tonight and tomorrow morning, we'll start to see these bands. I posted earlier, we could see our first really strong bands of storms for the Florida Peninsula late tonight, Wednesday night, 8, 9, 10 o'clock tonight. We can start to see these bands. And you can see that one band here is already setting up. Let me close some windows here. I don't want this thing to go bonkers on me. But back to the site. This is a pretty big file on my site, but it's an awesome site. The satellite's an awesome site. But this one band here, you can start to see it setting up here, and this is going to be the band to watch today that might reach the Florida West Coast tonight. And then there's going to be another round tomorrow. So let's close this out. Let's go to the rains again. So that first band of rains is tonight, and as you can see, as this thing starts to spin here Thursday into Friday, we're going to start to see the repeat pattern that we just saw. We're going to start to see drier air rotate down into the top side, left side of our little low pressure system. So the highest rain chances for the upper Gulf are tonight and tomorrow. Our low starts to pull out. But then tomorrow and Friday, we're still going to have a lot of rain chances here across the Florida Peninsula and storm potential. And as we get through the weekend, our low is going to be somewhere off the East Coast, and we're going to start to see this counterclockwise flow of rains again. So nothing's really changed in the last 4 or 5 days. Weekend rains, Florida Peninsula. How close this low gets to the actual East Coast, meaning Carolinas and whatnot, it's going to mean if you get anything at all. But coastal areas for sure, and there it is, just moving on out of here. This is all the way through the weekend. So here's your rain progression pretty much through the weekend, and you can just kind of see this rotation as it goes across. So, any development on the west side seems unlikely. There's just a lot of upper level wind shear, but I mean, it's got spin. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, if you click on any map, you're going to see. In fact, Weather Nerds has a great look here. we can pull up, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's got decent little spinach. And then we'll talk about the East Coast. As this thing sits over on the other side, East Coast, over that Gulf Stream, this is probably the best chance for our system to try to get going and maybe become our lane. So we got a big old blob of rain out by the Bahamas, which is not attached to this at all, but it's interesting. Again, it's all leftover front. Everything's kind of getting juiced and pushed, but we're going to focus right here on our little system and look at the current satellite. It's pretty tricky. You can start to see even, oops, I don't want that one. Right here. Let's pull up my little pointer. Pointer's not even working. But look, you can start to see this band, and there's our core low somewhere right here. So let's pull up visible satellite for the last several hours, and we'll see the spinach and what we're talking about. And crazy to see that lightning. Let's zoom in one more time here. Kind of wild to see that tail. Look at that. See, tropical tail. It's a tail. Cheers. I don't even have my cup today. I got Laguna Beach cup. Look at that. Don't have my Louis cup. So, all right. So, Panama City. Rebel wants to know Panama City. So far, it doesn't look like severe weather for the upper Gulf Coast. I'll take a look at that here in a second. We'll look at some of that data. This is primarily Florida Peninsula gets the brunt of this the next couple days. But this is your lightning map. Let's put it in loopage, and you'll see the spin. And there you go, loading up. Clear as day, right? Let's pull it up a little bigger. This is Weather Nerds. Right here, you can see it nice, Weather Nerds. There you go. That's what Gulf spinach. Hey, Andre's got my sticker on your trailer in Largo. That's pretty cool, buddy. Jeremy, Florida Keys definitely in play. This whole sloppy mess, so you can see that tail's inching in your way. So, you know, this is one of those watch in real time scenarios. Again, with the, it's sitting over top of that warm Gulf Stream loop currents right now, so it's got plenty of fuel. But the first thing you look at is upper level winds, and upper level winds are blowing hard from the west, and there's a lot of dry air that's going to be wrapping around this system here too. Which the second part of the story is this. This is a water vapor loop. This kind of shows you what's going to happen, like a repeat from last week. But you can start to see. This is Friday. There's our core system still off the coast of Florida here on Friday. But look on the top side here: Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, upper Florida. We're going to see this wraparound of dry air coming down. So Friday and Saturday, that's a lot of dry air for the Florida Panhandle, upper Gulf Coast. Core of the system still over the peninsula. We're going to start to see the low plop over here on the East Coast over the weekend, but that's going to still spin into storms. Some are going to reach the Gulf Coast or the East Coast, Georgia, Carolinas, extreme coastal areas. Again, the core of this thing is staying to the south. But look at this dry air. Eventually going to come down. Now, Sunday, it could be out of here for the whole at least Florida, Georgia again. This is such a repeat system that we just saw from that Carolina low. But look at all this dry air. So there is hope it's not a weekend washout for the whole state and southeast here. A little bit lingers here for the Gulf, or I guess anything Gulf, the Atlantic coast, Carolinas. There could be a little bit of Sunday morning leftovers. I pulled up the dew point map. I wanted to point this out, but this is your dew point values. But you can see as we progress into Friday, let's say, for example, Friday, 50s touching the Gulf Coast. And look at that. Look at these dew points on Saturday. Look at that. Like super duper cool, crisp air all the way down to the whole upper Gulf Coast, Panhandle included. This is on Saturday. And then even on Sunday, they continue. 40s now, reaching down into Mississippi, Alabama dew points. This feel like, this is what makes it feel cooler than it really is. So eventually, it's going to be a night, pretty nice day. At least on Sunday for most. But then it's going to be cool and crisp. Dew points are all the way into Monday. We're going to see low dew points across the South, and then of course Florida gets in on the whole state gets in on the action Sunday. Sunday doesn't look too bad for rains. Let's look at the official rain totals for Sunday, and then we'll see if it does verify that most the state stays dry. All right, so let's pull up. Oh, let's see here. What can we pull up here? Oh, yeah. I'm gonna try to have some more discussion tomorrow about the season ahead. We've had CSU and NOAA's released their hurricane outlooks for the season, and both are kind of near normal. And we'll get into a lot of that. And we'll talk a little bit about El Nino. I guess, was it Australia? Australia released their El Nino forecast, and I think we're at U.S. is about a 90% chance that we're going to be El Nino. Australia came out with theirs today, and they said 50%. A lot of hoopla about El Nino, but it only takes one, right? All right, so let's take a look at Sunday rains. And there's your Sunday rain. So there'd be some coastal stuff left, maybe on Sunday. So there's your state divided, smack dab down the middle here. So there could be some more linger. These are rains for Sunday. And like I was talking about with the coastal areas, it's just going to be however close this thing sets up off the coast. So yeah, and the reason this is showing on Sunday is we got a low pressure system off the Atlantic. They spin counterclockwise, so you're going to see this rotation of Atlantic juice, possibly reaching the East Coast. So not 100% Sunday dry for everybody. All right, let's go to tropical tidbits here. Take a look at the latest models. Let's look at some ensembles real quick since I got weather. Well, we just look at it here since I got it open. Let's back up here a little bit and let's look at the latest development for any potential low pressure area. So let's go to tropical Atlantic, Southwest Atlantic. All right, let's just look right here. And we will look at pressure. Always an indication of potential development. So nothing's really changed. I think the best chances of this thing becoming anything would be on the East Coast. There's still ensembles supporting that quite a bit. East Coast does not appear that this thing will reach the Carolinas like last week's system. It looks like it's going to stay more focused a little south yet, and there's weak signs that this thing might try to get going. So there's definitely more chances on the Euro the last couple runs before these last couple runs. This is just basically showing you weak low pressure over the state. That's probably why the NHC is not up their percentages yet to 20%. But always watch these little low pressures in real time, especially over the Gulf Stream. All right, so let's take a look here at the GFS, and it's been pretty much terrible all season. Not showing much. The Icon was really the best one showing anything as far as consistency, and the UK. Let's take a look at the UK Met. UK was showing a little more chances for development as we get in through the weekend on the east. Yeah, it's still showing quite a bit actually. So the UK is the most aggressive. Now this is Sunday. We'll see how the UK performs. It did quite well last year. So far this year, it's been doing pretty good. This is definitely the outlier right now, showing possible development right off the East Coast. This was yesterday's 12Z. Let's see what the 00Z shows. I wonder if it's still being that aggressive or not. Oh, it kind of is still. So there you go. This is the latest UK. 996 low pressure. I mean, one thing about pressure too, you got to realize, lowering pressures, counterclockwise spin, East Coast. Even if it's a weak low pressure like this, you're going to get a lot of winds, a lot of waves coming in off that Atlantic. Same old thing, right? So yeah, interesting, right? This is going over the Bahamas this Sunday. So the biggest takeaway that has not changed is this low is going to go through the peninsula, lower part, and likely hang out on the east side before it eventually races off first part of the week. So there you go. That's the UK. Interesting. All right, let's look at the Icon. Icon has done really good over the years, sniffing out weak tropical systems. See what it's showing here. This is the German model. Let's see here. And as we get into Friday, there's our low setting up here. So, it's very deceiving right now out there in the Gulf because today's Wednesday, right? Well, the core of the system, you get these rounds of convection bursts. So what happens is when you have a heavy sheared system, the core of the system is producing these storms. The storms rise, and then they all get blown into the peninsula. So the core of the system is still expected to stay in the middle Gulf for a couple days. So that's why we'll have repeat rounds of rains and storms into the Florida Peninsula the next couple days. The core of the system is still expected to remain itself, kind of hovered off the coast for a couple days before it treks over to the east side. But see, the Icon's not even showing it anymore. So, all right, let's look at some ensembles. Let's look at the European ensembles. Because even though the main operational run might not be showing it, doesn't mean that there's not ensembles showing it too. So anyway, what's up, Miss Katie Haley? Hey, I'm in your neck of the woods. So yeah, the drought buster, correct. Not a buster, but let's look at some rain totals coming. Jenny, Saturday, yep, heavy rainfall. Good morning, Kathy. Well, Charlie, what's above my head? Or Shelly says. All right, so let's look at the ensemble. So, bottom line, if you're tuning in, tropics officially start tomorrow. We do have a yellow circle. Yellow circles don't mean hurricanes, but we do have low pressure. Let's go take a look at Gulf of Mexico here. We got a weak tropical rainmaker. Going to feel tropical. We're going to have bands of rains. Again, upper Gulf Coast, this thing is smack dab south of us right now. And we're going to see some counterclockwise storms trying to push up into the Panhandle area, upper Gulf area. Some of these might not even make the coast. Some of them might just stay off the coast. As our low slowly moves towards the peninsula, we're going to start to see more of these rains and storms getting onto the Florida peninsula coast. And like I said, tonight around 8, 9, 10 o'clock, it looks like we're going to have strong line of storms possibly for the Florida West Coast. And then there'll be another repeat round likely tomorrow, um, coming in off of the Gulf of Mexico. These are your ensembles from the Euro. And same theme, right? The low pressure dips around, maybe meanders a little bit over here for a day or two, and eventually races off. So, and you got the color guards up here, or color keys up here. 1005 is green, so you can see that most of the Euro ensembles are not showing any development on the Florida west side, but there's a lot more showing up on the east side. And of course, we got a lot of people watching in Bermuda. So first part of the week for Bermuda, this thing could be racing your way. There's a potential. All right, so let's look at another map here. It kind of blends them all together. It's funny, since I'm at a different Wi-Fi spot, Google ads are now different. You tend to see things that might have been searched. We get a lot of funny emails from people like, "I can't believe that you would be advertising this," and I'm like, "Well, it's kind of based on your searches, not ours." Yeah, so even the Euro probability index has relaxed just a little bit, but yesterday was quite strong. This was yesterday's 12Z, showing you basically best development chances on the east side. So we'll just leave it at that. Let's pull up another cool windy site here. Let's pull this one up. We'll take a look at some of the bands and how they might start impacting Florida later. Then we'll look at some rain totals. I want to pull up the windy site here as we can kind of look at potential action coming up. This old laptop is slow. I probably should have used my new one, but it is what it is. All right, so let's pull up windy here, and we'll look, because we'll see these rounds of storms, what they're going to look like. What the heck is up with that? Is that Zoom? No, it's search. All right, so here's windy. Let's let it load up here. Oh man, we really zoomed out far. I do miss my PC though. All right, what else we got? So YouTube, we started a little late trying to get all my chat working. I haven't really looked at chat. What is Noah Wells, Miss? What, Chris Wells? Are you related? What is that? What is Noah Wells? I'm looking for something to do. Rob, it's a good reason to go hang out at the world of beers, right? Or the world of. So yeah, Chris, tell me what that is, because I'm trying to find something fun for the girls to do today. Good morning, Whitney, Nicole. How's it going? Ride the pipeline. What's that? Oh, that's at SeaWorld, the new thing. SeaWorld Saturday, gonna be rainy. Sorry. Adam, there's a little high pressure to our north. Very, very complicated, but it's basically following sort of the upper level winds. I got a cool old school map here on my site that you can kind of look at the steering currents, and it takes into account high pressures. And so right here, upper steering map, and we'll see here basically the flow, which, you know, kind of shows you how it's going to push off. It's kind of following the jet stream a little bit right now. So, you know, the core to low, you know, if you just follow the peach lines, kind of indicate upper level winds. So a little high, you know, high pressure to the north, steering currents, where our low actually is versus the blob of moisture. The blob of moisture is very deceiving because the shear right now. But let's zoom in here a little closer and look at some of these storms. Let's go to tonight. So here's 9 p.m. tonight. It takes forever to load. It's just hit or, I mean, it's just going to be sloppy conditions, almost impossible. These are the systems you watch in real time on radar. There's our blob tomorrow morning. So our low still technically is going to be out here tomorrow morning. Like I said, it's very deceiving. It looks like it's moving ashore. It looks like it's heading to land, but that's just the convection being sheared toward the state. This is tomorrow night. The low is still expected to be off the coast tomorrow. And then we get into Friday. More storms across the lower half of Florida. Any place, any time. Saturday morning. They're going to start rotating, and we'll get a wind. We'll have a wind shift. Now the storms are going to be a little bit more prominent on the East Coast, and they're going to push inland more on Saturday. And again, with daytime heating, it's just going to be, there's just more moisture in the air. It's tropical. You're going to get, rain. Hopefully not a lot of thunder and lightning. Hopefully, it's just rain. And as we see with the sheared system, look at all this juice here, the heavy stuff on the east side. This is what indicates a lot of upper level winds is blowing all this convection off to the east. And anybody in Bermuda starting on Sunday, you're starting to see it. And then, like I said, coastal Sunday is a big question mark. So here for examples, the Euro, not showing development, but it's low pressure right over top of Bahamas, kind of what the UK is showing, a little more organized for the UK. But the question mark for Sunday, East Coast still in play. We're going to have action out there over that Gulf Stream. So extreme coastal areas, Carolina south, and as we saw already with Florida, even though it appears half the state down the middle to the west will be bone dry, cool air, crisp air, we're still going to see some of this moisture spinning and fueling off of that Gulf Stream down into the Florida East Coast on Sunday. And then if it becomes Arlene or not, who knows? The UK is really the only one showing an Arlene setup. Here's Sunday night, got storms out here brewing. Eventually everything's out of here pretty much, for most people. Now the load's going to probably linger, a day. It's a slow mover, but it's all connected to a frontal line, which is, how these things start. Old fronts, but there's just a lot of wind shear, which is going to prevent tightening up of the system right now, currently. All right, so I want to look at a couple of things. Then we'll look at rainfall totals. Here's a good radar. Kind of shows you the first blob out there. And it's setting up. I mean, it's getting some spiraling, Like I told the crew up here at the Gulf Coast Jam, the more this thing tightens up, the more the rain will start to be concentrated more to the core of the low. And of course, that there's going to be some strong storms initially coming in off of the Gulf. You can see them already out there. I mean, it's there's some bands. I mean, look at it. We got spinach. Clear spinach, right? And there you go. We got some heavy storms. So this will be what you watch later tonight. I mean, the HRRR is showing a heavy line of storms approaching the Florida West Coast tonight. And again, this is round one. It's deceiving. There looks like there's going to be a repeat round again tomorrow, Thursday. The first day of hurricane season. All right. How's the fishing been? Don't know. Oh, you're talking about some beds. Kathy's been in Cocoa Beach. Gonna be a little wet. Hey, MT Mapes, thanks for the stars. Can I see you, buddy? The Magic of Noah. All right, I'll take a look at that. I will. Magic of Noah. I'll Google it. Let's see. So anyway, Hubbard's Marina, what's up, buddy? Yeah. So anyway, nothing to worry about, everybody. You know, it's just we deal with circles almost every day in tropical season. So it's cool to me. You know, growing up as a kid, I remember tropical rain bands. You know, it's just so cool. Like when they don't hurt anybody or they're not causing destruction, but you know, you get sunshine, you see a dark cloud approaching fast. You know, you get these downbursts of rain, and then you get sunshine. Those are tropical feeder bands, and you know, it's a big part of growing up. The excitement of the changing weather and seeing these things rolling in and off the coast. And I bet you if I head over to the water, we'll probably see some later today as this thing spirals around out here in the Gulf. So let's look at some rainfall totals and some future radar. So let's pull up what we might expect. I'll just zoom in on Florida because that's pretty much everybody going to get the rain in Florida. And let's look at let's take a look at the blended models, which is a little more aggressive sometimes, but it gives a really good idea of the core of the system, where it's going and who's going to get the most. So let's take a look here at Florida. Zoom in. Oh, poor me. All right, Florida. And this is going to be rainfall pretty much through Monday morning. All right, so let's leave this up for a minute. So this is your rainfall through Monday morning. I can even put my chat back over where I like it. So there's your rainfall through Monday morning. Oh, garage. Jonathan, what's up, buddy? Hey, Eric, what's up, buddy? How you doing down south, man? The Rays lost again. We got to. So here, Stan's asking how many rain predictions. Well, here you go. This is through Monday morning. Sam's going deep sea fishing. Well, better watch your radar. Henry, I think there's a chance it could spin up on the east side. I mean, you know, these are, you know, the blob yesterday morning, you know, it was out there. We got another one today, and we'll have another one tomorrow. Anytime you get a core low pressure working over the Gulf, and the Gulf's warm, we're going to see these little blobs get going. So, you know, not saying there's no chance, especially when you got the UK still sticking. And like I said, it's a good model, the UK. And all the other models have been off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on. But the effects are the same, right? Heavy rains. We got some storms. We're going to have some winds. You know, again, we have not a tight of a pressure gradient as we did in last week's system, but there are signs of upper level winds or high pressure winds combining with this low pressure and having some East Coast winds. So let's take a look over the weekend. All right, so here's your rainfall totals. Again, I mean, it's pretty much cut and dry, right? lower half of the system spins in the storms. It's going to be hit or miss. First 2 days today included Wednesday, Thursday, a little bit of Friday. Most of these rains will be incoming up off the Gulf. As our system passes through the state of Florida, they're going to start to come in from the Atlantic side, so we're going to have a wind shift over the weekend. And by at least later Saturday and Sunday, for sure, the Florida West Coast should be dry, and the East Coast is still going to be watching over the weekend. And then the Upper Gulf, we'll see. Let's take a look at and since it's not really organized, you don't really get good wind numbers. Most of your heaviest winds are going to be with the actual squall lines in storms. But we can look at some stuff. We'll look at let's look at future radar here in a second. Let's look at some wind gusts, probability of wind gusts. I don't know how many. I think this only goes out 72 hours. We'll see. 59 hours. Maybe it's still running. Let's go to 12Z. This one goes out through Saturday. 60 hours. But you can see, just nothing. So it'll feel like typical afternoon thunderstorms. Don't let the yellow circles scare you. Future radar, let's take a look at this. Let's look at the future HRRR. It'll do a good job predicting Florida peninsula rains. Topside will be a little tough because we have dry air starting to come down, and that kind of messes up some of the model predictions on rains when you start to mingle in some dry air. But let's take a look here at the next 48 hours. Why am I on this right here? Okay, 48 hours, 12Z. Let's take a look on your next. So when we might start getting those storms. All right, so here's kind of what it looks like now. There's a big old blob, right? And then as we get going, starting to show, some heavy stuff here at the core of the system. Remember, the core of the system still well west of Florida, but just kind of follow the flow as we get going. See that? Somebody was asking about the Keys, right? Well, look, tonight, this is actually noontime today, actually. This is spinning in, moisture, and we're going to see some storms incoming from the southwest for South Florida. Look at that. Tonight, or today, noon, afternoon, a couple hours from now. In fact, it's 11 o'clock. What time is it? 10? What time is it in real life? 10? Real life. No offense to everybody else. I don't even know what time it is. I guess it's 10 o'clock Eastern time zone. So maybe 2 hours, you can start to see these things. All right, so this is future radar. And look at it. What are you going to say about that? Any time, any place. This is this afternoon. No way you can predict exact locations, but you just know the energy is there. And, here's overnight. This is about 10, 11 o'clock tonight. Here's that one band that I showed earlier this morning. This is late tonight, so. Then tomorrow we'll have a repeat. Let's see if we can fast forward. So here's tomorrow morning. More bands, and as I was talking to the crew up here at the concert, hopefully, likely, these rain bands are going to tighten up off the coast and stay off the coast tomorrow morning. Here's tomorrow morning. But look, round 2 setting up. Look at that. Keys again tomorrow morning. Another round. Look at this. Boom. Tomorrow afternoon, more storms coming in off the Gulf. And look at that, going into tomorrow night. So 2 days plowing through rains, no running, No hiding. And then Friday, it's still sitting out there. It's a slow. I mean, the thing ain't got a lot of movement. Upper level winds, all that shear steering maps affect a system that might be more stacked, 500. So the low level stuff doesn't get as affected with the steering maps. So here's Friday morning, and we got more out there brewing. So 3 days. This is high resolution future radar, but yeah. So the drought is very welcoming this on the Florida West Coast side, for sure. But anyway, no Vinman, no loop-de-doop. It looks like it could slow down, maybe linger on the East Coast enough to, on Sunday, Monday to kind of just keep those rain chances up. Let's take a look at some wind maps here for the Euro. Talk about some waves. So, we'll see some increased wave. I don't know if we can do it, but we'll see some increased waves, especially on the north side of the system, as we have this thing plop on the other side of the coast. All right, so here's 00Z. And it's trying to load. Good morning, Mr. George. Whitney. I don't think about a hurricane on June 1st. I don't think anything. I don't think this thing. No, not tomorrow. Not with all that wind shear. All right, here. Let's take a look at the winds. So, all right. So here's the winds. So we talked about. So we got high pressure to the north. Anytime you get this frontal boundary, clashing, we'll start to see, increased winds and waves. These are wave maps for later today. Let's fast forward it to, so this is kind of cool, right? This is starting to show you the setup. This is Friday, showing you the low off the Florida coast. Big waves around the top side of it as our low starts to take shape. It's going to be pulling in some winds and waves again to North Florida. This isn't anything close to what we saw last week, but this is a wave map, 10, 12 foot, out there. As our low gets on the other coast, I don't know how, we're only going out 90 hours. I don't think we're going to get to see much on this map yet. It's still not far out yet. But at least until Saturday, you get the idea. Heavy winds again, coastal winds, northern part of Florida. And then I suspect once our low gets onto the East Coast side, then we'll see some more winds and waves impacting northern Florida and the southeast coast. So, in a nutshell, we're watching a blob, and let's pull this map up here, and we'll kind of say our goodbyes. I knew the tropics would do this to me as I took a trip. Let's zoom in on here. Always does it. Usually it's when I go camping. There we go. We'll leave that up. Let this thing load. And if you wonder what those footsteps are, those are the dogs. I might be able to grab one now. They were sleeping peacefully in their bed, so I didn't want to. That's a beautiful picture right there, satellite. Bonnie, Gulf Coast Jam. I think tomorrow is really the biggest day to worry about rains. Looking at the lightning map, I don't know if these storms are going to be producing lightning enough to, cause a evacuation. temporary evacuation. It does appear that Thursday is the wettest day, but I tell you what's going to happen for the weekend is as our low slides through the state, it's going to be pulling down cooler, crisp air in much of the Gulf Coast, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida Panhandle. You're going to feel cool. It's hard to imagine, right? June 2nd, 3rd, 4th, we'll have some low dew points, and it'll feel cool and crisp, especially in the morning for the next several days. So, and eventually, that same cool, crisp air is going to reach the whole peninsula on early next week, Sunday, Monday. So here you go, man. I mean, it's cool. Look at that tail wrapping around. So those little dots, those are lightning strikes. But you can see what the low is. I mean, you can see it clear as day. I mean, look to the south of that blob and look at just the speed of the wind of the clouds, right? That is upper level winds. And so if you focus on the clouds to the south of that, those upper level winds just blowing hard. Come here, Louie. Come here. So that's wind shear, and that's going to help keep this from developing in anything, at least the next couple days. But what's going to be interesting is keeping your eye on that radar today, because we're going to see these. That is it'll look the look. It's starting to get the look, right? You can see it. Winds in the north, south, converging, spinning. So you're going to get some sneaky little feeder bands rolling into the Florida West Coast tonight. More, one of them is showing up tonight. This will be the one that's interesting to me. It's got a lot of lightning to it, and it's stretching all the way down there. So, yeah, there you go. Welcome to 2023 hurricane season. Oh, Rosie Crump, good morning. Good morning, Bonnie, AC tent. MT, yep, cool breeze. Lori Rise said they just had their wettest May in history. That's because all this stuff's blowing your way. All this old fronts and everything just kind of shoves your way. And it gets a little fuel off of the waters that kind of help get going. Lori Rye, not Ray. Anything else? Let's just chit chat for a while as a dog. So this house has the coolest floors. They have wood floors. I don't know what's different. We must not have real wood floors at our house because the dogs don't sound like that. They are so loud in this house. We'd have to get their toes cut frequently if we lived here, because all you hear at night is the feet walking. And then when they play in the morning, oh my God, it echoes off the walls. Monica wants to know, will it develop? I don't think so. Not in anything, There's a lot of wind shear. I mean, we can look at some future wind shear maps. There's a lot of wind shear expected. Let's take a look at some future wind shear. I don't think the next couple days it can. I mean, the biggest question is the East Coast side. It's just hard for anything to develop with strong winds like that. But you never say never. Never, ever, 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 ever say never. First, you want to start. You don't want anything, but if you're going to see development, you would start to see lowering pressures. And let's see if we can fast forward this. Whoa, come on, don't fail me now. All right, let's see here if we can just keep it right here. So here's Friday. Well, there is a little pocket of light wind shear. That was showing up Thursday. You know what? Friday morning. Well, going back to listening to my own advice is you watch things in real time. There is on the Euro at least there is a pocket of light wind shear showing up Friday, Saturday. This is your upper level winds. You can kind of see it also. Let me close that one out, open up. You can kind of see where this light wind shear is coming from. But you never know. I mean, that's light wind shear. That's one thing you want to see if then it gets into the weekend and the upper level winds come back. But holy moly, that's some serious upper level winds showing up. Woo! So maybe there might be a teeny little window. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of wind shear first part of next week. So that's why the euro backed off this run. I don't think we have the previous run on this one. Oh, we do. 12Z. Ah, see the difference? Look at that. So the reason the euro is showing better chances of development here on Monday was it was predicting less wind shear. And then if you go to the latest run, it totally and then the 0-0-Z, it didn't have any either. So it really changed. So here's 2 nights ago's wind shear forecast for Sunday, Monday. Very light. This is kind of where our low would be. Not very light, but lighter. And then yesterday's run, it had a little window. You could start to see it build, and then boom, last night's run. Where did that wind shear come from? I will say the euro typically has the better track record when it comes to upper level winds predictions. Usually it's pretty darn good. Or at least steering flow. The Euro's always been really good with steering flow. Upper level steering currents, highs and lows. So here's kind of what the Euro's showing though. This is Wednesday, right? This is current trending wind shear maps. So, but look, you can see. All right, so you can see current wind shear map. You can see the winds, the peach winds. The peach is basically your jet stream, more upper level winds, but you can see the flow. The little arrows are pointing, and you can see that last graphic why everything was blowing South Florida around our low. So that's why everything's blowing into Florida and those upper level winds. But like I said, this is another map which kind of shows you tendency, and it's showing a lowering of wind shear a little bit. That's why the NHC is watching it. But they got a 10% chance in 2 days. That's very low chances from the NHC. So this thing would really have to tighten up in the next 24 hours if it was going to do anything. But I love watching these things. You want to, but the wind shear's everything. This kind of map here too, you can really look at it and see. Let's let it load. Might have to use my other laptop tomorrow. This one's doing fine, but so let's let this one load. This is a good. And you get to see the constant bursts of convection where the center is. So the center is right at the tip of Alabama and Florida right here. Right here you can see the center. And that's verifiable looking at all the other maps. But strong winds. So look at the difference in winds. So all this convection in South Florida right here is just blowing in from the southwest. The winds aren't moving as fast in the north. Look at they're almost just stalling out. That's because there's light wind shear. But you can see this convection really good. All right, so focus right here on the middle part where my little mouse is. I don't think my pointer's working today. Whoa, we just got super zoomed. How do you get out of it? All right, but let's go back to focusing right here. I tell you what, so classic. So here's your low. We had a big burst of convection this morning. You can see it bubbling and rising right here. Boom. Well, what happens to it? It gets shoved off from upper level winds. So this is 100% classic. The low has not moved. All this blob here is moving. It appears that the system's moving, but the core of the system's not moving. And the convection is just feeling the, it bubbles on the low level, but once it rises, it gets pushed off because of that wind shear. And sloppy subtropical early season systems always have that look of moisture pushing off to the northeast usually. And there we go. But we watch these things in real time, right? Things can change. Anyway, Jose, where you live at? I'll tell you the worst day. What do you mean worst day? Hey, Thomas Donuts. I think we had a hot dog there. We didn't eat donuts. But I think it's the same spot, right? They had a foot-long hot dog. Let's see here. We took a picture. That's what I'm looking at here. We took a picture. Ah! We did not eat there, but we took a family photo there. Look. That's us in the donut hole. So we were there. We drove by it. I got a foot long hot dog instead. That was more lunch. Look at Sarah. Oh, you gotta love her. Look at old Sarah. Ah. That's crazy. It was fun. We ran the golf cart out of juice. I don't know if you saw the photo or not, but God, so Furman sent me their 0E electric. It's not a generator, but I call it a generator. But it saved the day, man. We were coasting along. We were 4 miles away, and it went down to 10 miles an hour, and finally it was 8 miles an hour, and it was 7 miles an hour, and we ran out of juice, and I parked it at this place called the Old. What the heck was the name of it? I have to look at my picture now. And in the period of one Jack and Coke double tall and a Miller, we had enough juice to get home. Literally. It was like a Christmas miracle. Now somebody's calling me. Who the heck is this? Don't call me during my lives. All right, let me show you this picture. So we stopped at this place. It was so funny. I didn't even get a video. I'm gonna have to merge it all together. I think it was called here. There, the old beach bar. That's where we ended up. So I stopped there, got a drink, let the old golf cart charge up for about 15 minutes, and we had enough to get home. So, all right. So there you go. Tampa. It looks like the next 2 days at least, man. Jill, where's your graduation? What fairgrounds? Tampa? Oh man, it's gonna be so hit or miss. I just looked at Future Radar, and you know, I just don't think, when you have tropical moisture in place, it's kind of anytime, any place. So I would definitely prepare for rain. Unfortunately. So anyway, we're going to be live tomorrow from the stage. We're going to try to make that work. We'll talk about this system tomorrow. Talk about the season ahead. I'm going to pull up some graphics and have them ready to go. We'll have all the official forecasts that have been put out. I'll have the names. We'll talk about the names, and we'll talk about this system, and Talk about anything else. James, exactly right. It'll fit perfect in the back of Tesla. Alex, I don't know about a race car yet. The goal would be the Cup for Daytona 500. That's our goal. That way we'll be on the midway out front, and knock on wood, hopefully. Florida Division of Emergency Management, Volusia County EOC, and FEMA are all kind of excited about the possibility again, and we would love to have a tent put out there at the Speedway, showcasing the car, but mainly hurricane awareness, have information, kind of like a hurricane expo. Daytona is 100 days from the start of hurricane season, so it's a great way to get people kind of thinking, about the season ahead. So that's the plan, is to have a car again in February. Anyway, so I guess I'm a judge tonight at Miss Newbies. Is that what it's called? They're doing the Battle of the Bands. Oh, I keep slouching in my chair. I'm missing half my head. So if you're around tonight, it's called Miss Newbies. So they're doing this. I think there's 9 bands competing tonight to try to be the opening acts here at the Gulf Coast Jam. So I'll be there doing that. So. All right, so we'll see everybody tomorrow. I'm going to post some stuff about this low. Just keep it tuned to all the social media channels. I'll make sure all the latest and greatest gets put up. And nothing to worry about, right? But it is tropical, and it's got spinach, and it's drifting slowly to the Florida Peninsula. So, all right, have a great day, everybody. We will see you tomorrow from the stage. My first mobile live on a stage. Hopefully it's not raining. I wish I knew a weather guy. We'll see y'all.